Welcome to the Newbie Real Estate Investor Podcast. I'm Jonathan Boyle with my co-host Chan, and we have a special guest today, Shawn Ziem. Welcome to the podcast, Shawn.
Thanks so much, guys, for having me. This is awesome.
Hey, Shawn, definitely. Welcome to the podcast. Shawn, can you give our audience a little bit of background about yourself, yourself and your family and things like that?
No, excellent. Again, thanks again for allowing me to, speak on numerous topics we're going to cover today.
Yep.
I am the connection machine, aka the insurance doctor. I've been involved in the insurance industry since 2006.
Wow.
And a lot of insurance brokers, all they do is sit there and wait for the phone to ring, and just are order takers. They're going to sit there and, I need the address, need this, and this, and they just do quotes all day. And I decided I'm not doing that. Anyone can do that. My team can do that. I could help others grow their business. And yeah, we're flickering like crazy today. So it must be the energy we're putting off today. I want to help as many people as possible. So I spend my time helping people, educating people, giving value on ways to market themselves, to brand themselves, to generate leads. And that's where I've developed my business to a different level. So I don't really need to focus on insurance. Insurance comes because of the community that I've developed over the last 3 years, specifically doing over 1,000 videos. So it's where I'm at as far as I do everything from insurance, from homes to, in this world, in this space, homes for investment, for primary, multifamily apartments, commercial, etc. And I also do flood insurance in this space to help those that are in need in that area, and also small business insurance. So it's an avenue that I enjoy with reoccurring income and also helping more people because everyone buys property. And this is one of the biggest, one property, you have probably 8 to probably 12 people that are basically earning an income from that one property. So I think it's amazing real estate, and those not involved with it need to get involved.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, Shawn, just going over your background a little bit and just letting the whole audience know. So today's episode is a little bit different in how Shawn, he actually helps with services in real estate rather than more than an investor overall. So Shawn, what are some pitfalls people need to be aware of when it comes to homeowners insurance, or if you're an investor, most of our audience would be the
builder's risk insurance.
There you go.
Yeah. Just so those that are watching understand, the cheapest policy you're going to ever have is your primary residence. And from there, the risk is greater and goes from, a vacant home, you're going to have different things involved, because when you have a vacant home, no one's there. It's why it's called vacant. You're working on it. You also go to a builder's risk policy, which is basically the more expensive version because you have a lot more risk involved. Nobody's living there per se. You're going to be knocking down things. You're going to be renovating. So these are opportunities to make sure you are covered properly, and they will insure the property so that what it's worth when you're done with your project. So yes, you are using your own money. Sometimes you use your own hard money with a mortgage, etc. But you want to make sure you're covered properly. What I do is I have 30 companies I represent, take information, and then I go shop it out to the companies. And I make sure you have the best coverage for a fair premium. A lot of people say, I want the cheapest. I know a lot of investors want the lowest cost possible. That's important to me as well. But I don't like that word cheap. Cheap is, you get what you pay for. So I want to make sure that if you, God forbid, you have to put a claim in, you're going to have the money coming toward you instead of, being out hundreds, if not millions of dollars, depends on the situation. So lots of opportunities that people do when they get a mortgage, they'll say they're getting a primary mortgage. Well, you're actually committing fraud. I don't want people committing fraud. I want you to be honest and upfront and transparent, because like I said before, primary residence will be the cheapest. But when an insurance company goes out, they're going to have an inspector check it out and see that no one's living there. There's probably walls being taken down, toilets removed, cabinets taken out. And they're going to say, you said you were living there. And that's a totally different policy. So we figure this all out, and we're honest and upfront at the point of contact in the beginning of the process so that you have the right policy. You can, depends on the situation. If you could do a lot of cash deals, you can get away with, depends on your projects. If you know your project timeframes, you can get a 3-month policy. That'll be more the cheapest. Then you can get your 6-month or a 9-month or a year, depending on the situation. If you are using a hard money lender, most of them require a 12-month policy. It's expensive. It's something that you have to kind of factor into your numbers, make sure it all makes sense from the get-go. And I know you guys do that, teach that, and you share and mentor others to make sure they have the right numbers. If the numbers don't jive, you might want to pass on the deal. So it's something that you want to make sure you are straight right from the beginning.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I know you deal with a lot of investors, purchasing the builder's risk policy from you. A lot of guys you have a big following on Facebook, and I know you have a new platform as well. We'll talk about that a little bit. And on Facebook, anytime anybody ever asks in some of the groups that I'm in, and if they say, hey, I'm looking for insurance, and you have like 5-10 people answer and tag you on the Facebook post. So that's pretty awesome, Yeah. So
that all happened from just a couple, a couple times posting. No, guys, it took a long time before it got to that point, but it happens. That's the power.
Right. Yeah. And that's incredible. So, we want to find out from you, how did you get up to that level, and, what you do?
Excellent. Good question. And it takes a lot of consistency and persistence. I do things to the point now they're habits. And I do all my own social media. And if you don't do your own social media, it's not going to be authentic. People are going to read into it as well if somebody else is doing it for you. But I started my entourage as far as video. In the last 3 years, I did over 1,000 videos. And people said, well, what the hell did you talk about? And I said, I didn't talk about anything to do with insurance. I think out of 1,000, I had maybe 25 that were specific to insurance. And the whole rest of them are all value adds. And I know my community are a lot of business owners, a lot of realtors, a lot of investors, and how to answer the phone, how to use video, how to do Facebook Lives, how to, talk about mindset, skills that people need to have. That's what I shared out to my community. And you basically buy brain cells, not brainwash. Buy brain cells, so that when somebody knows and wants insurance and they say, hey, I'm looking for a builder's risk or a homeowner policy or a rental dwelling policy, or I need a commercial unit, those in my community now, like Joey was saying, will tag me. And that actually helps me tremendously when I message them, hey, I see that you're looking for X, Y, and Z. And they're like, yeah, you are highly recommended. And it's just over time, doing things and helping others helped me get to the point where I'm at now, where I don't have to look for insurance. People are out there on championing my cause, and my own silent sales force that are out there, that they hear insurance, call Shawn Ziem. They hear anything else, is a connection, they call Shawn Ziem. I had yesterday, I had Jason Levine, is a real estate agent in New Milford, New Jersey, called me about 7 o'clock last night. And he's like, Shawn, I need some help. I'm like, what can I help you with, Jay? Because I'm always about helping. I need a septic removed. Who do you know? Who's in your network for septic removal? And I checked my database real quick and who I recommend and who I vetted, or maybe somebody else that I know that used somebody, and I gave them a recommendation. But that's the resource. I'm a resource. I'm not just an insurance broker. I'm a resource to you, a tool in your toolbox that has helped hundreds, if not thousands of people now.
Yeah, no, it's awesome to be that tool, because at the end of the day, it helps you help others, and others will help you in that respect. Like, for example, I know there's people who reach out to me like, do you know a good GC for a project? And, sometimes I refer Joey, but, with the caveat that he would probably want to be in the partnership. I've also, told them about other GCs I've used in the past, like, oh, use this guy, or no, don't use this guy, just from, experience. Overall, it's just, you want to be able to benefit your community, and it's great.
Yeah, it's definitely an awesome thing to have. And I love the name Connection Machine too. It's something that I would definitely, use if you didn't have it already.
It was funny because I was doing insurance, and then years ago was an insurance producer or an agent or a broker, whatever you want, a title you put on a business card. And I was like, you know what? I need something different. So I came up with the insurance doctor. I conduct second opinion insurance reviews. So I was using that for my insurance business.
I remember
as my
that.
title. And then I was setting up all these text message introductions or email introductions. And hey, Joey, you got to meet John. I remember we did a video, John,
Yeah.
and we were doing some things at Panera Bread. And just those things help going forward. So someone's like, man, you have tons of connections. So it goes hand in hand. So that's why I use that as my tagline, because it is a value. It's something that I'm not just insurance. I'm not just, I'm here to help whatever you need. And a lot of people in my world, in the real estate world, have trouble making phone calls. And I said, how do you have problems with phone calls? All it is a conversation. It's a connection call. Don't treat it as a sales call. You're not selling somebody. Have a conversation. If you have the conversation, it might lead to maybe a sale, but it might be you recommending someone else and it's going to come back to you. So every call you don't have rejection. You have something positive happening on every single call, but some people have to change their mindset. That's key.
Exactly. Like I openly share my network with people because, you don't know the value that you bring someone and they could bring it back tenfold. Like the other day I wrote about 31 exchanges on Facebook, and someone I haven't spoke to in a while, but I recommended them something before, like reached out to me with like a mobile home park. And I'm just like, oh, well, again, because this is all a connection business. It's all relationship based. Like if you build out good rapport with people, then like the amount of help you get back is like tenfold. Again, like even just my 1031 exchange intermediary. Yeah. Like, she does title also. And like, I'm sure down the road, probably get a deal from her or something. Like everyone works together in this network.
It has to be that way. That's how I had a handyman over who was over yesterday, had to put up some shutters at my house and put a storm door in. And he's a friend from the past, from like way back. And we're real tight. And anyone in my community, I'm always trying to have to my house working on projects, because that shows how important these are as far as a recommendation, that they're not a referral. Referrals, a lot of referrals is some kind of handout coming somewhere else, but a recommendation, that's your history, your, whole who you are is on the line. So I treat it very, very seriously. And with all business practice, whoever I recommend, how I quote people is like family. You're going to be in the right policy, because I treat it like you're my mother or my father, because that's how important it is to me. And I could sleep at night having you in the right policy.
Exactly. So, Shawn, just going a little bit more into detail about the insurance aspect of things, is there any pitfalls that people should be aware of as far as when they're getting their builder's risk for an investment property, like maybe such as making sure the deductible isn't extremely high or something like that?
100%. The one thing is, if you're doing any hard money, make sure you have the lender requirements. Get that to me, get that to an insurance broker in the beginning, because when you do quotes and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, but I need it this way after we did all this work, we want to make sure it's done right the first time. So the lender requirements might state certain things. You might have to have $1 million liability on it. Instead of, you might go to a company, they might quote 100,000, just so it keeps down the cost. And then when you present that to the underwriter, they're going to say, wait a minute, it's not following the lender requirements, and they're going to kick it out. It's going to delay your closing, or you might not close, on time, period, because of a simple glitch you should have caught in the beginning. Make sure that you have everything, as far as I have my website people go to fill out a form, and majority of the information there is very important. Your renovation costs. Let me know how long the project might take. If it's your first project, I would love to know that as well, so I can coach you through it. Maybe I have some connections I can get you to utilize in your network. Because, for example, some people don't know that you should have a dumpster guy. You guys know, and you use different people. Mike Zariner is a name I always throw out. A dumpster guy is important. And people are like, why do you recommend the dumpster guy? Because it's a value for an investor to have a person to utilize. And even Michelle Rafferty, these are things that you should utilize. So going back to insurance, having And knowing your numbers, knowing the time frames are so key. The difference between a 3-month and a 9-month or even a 12-month policy is, definitely significant difference. And only issue is maybe we write a 3-month policy. We would, if you're not done in time, we would have to rewrite you another 3-month policy. I always keep that in mind. So if you are, I'm not sure, I might go a little longer. Well, instead of writing a 3, write a 6. You're going to keep yourself in the right position, and you don't have to worry about excessive income or excessive payments of premium, so that you get things done in the right time. Liability, though, is definitely key. God forbid someone gets hurt on the property, you will have coverage there. And most companies, if your hard money is $1 million, they require. But you can go lower, but just be careful. That's why I recommend.
So I guess then I'll continue asking, is there anything that people should be aware of, like if they're going to or purchase a property with like flood insurance or something?
When you are searching for properties, all one would have to do is, if they have my cell phone or they can email me, just give me the address and I could put it into the system with FEMA, find out with the mapping where you're at. For example, if you have an AE zone, that's a most excessive as far as the amount of premium you're going to pay. AE zones can range as high as, on average, these numbers that I give are basically averages. Your max is going to be a $250,000 dwelling coverage on a FEMA policy. You should also have some contents for about $50,000. It's going to cost you around $2,300 to $2,500 for a policy in a FEMA AE zone. Now, if you are an investor and you're doing an FHA or VA loan and you're not doing that hard money, you're going to have to go with a FEMA policy. If you are on a conventional side, you can get away with private flood insurance, and it's a significant difference in discount. You're probably looking for the same coverage, $250,000 for dwelling and $50,000 contents, in the $1,800 range. So there is savings, depends on what route you go. And again, it goes back to the lender requirements based off what direction you're going. Cash policies, cash deals are always the easiest, but don't skimp on the coverage. Have at least the $250,000. So God forbid you have a flood, you will be paid out and have the claim. That's important.
Yeah, absolutely.
That makes sense. You actually just taught me something I didn't know. For FHA versus like conventional loans, when like on the resale side, the homeowner has to, pay a certain amount and they could have a private or one that is FHA compliant. It's interesting.
You brought up a good point too, is yes, some of you are investors and you're worried about numbers when you're buying and purchasing a property, but then you also have to realize the cost involved for future people that are when they're on the resale. So that would be beneficial too when you're selling the property and it's in a flood area. But listen, it's going to cost you roughly $1,100 for a homeowner policy, and you are in AE zone, it's going to cost you about $23. So you can kind of give them numbers for that resale. So it actually helps. I help agents out and I help investors out with those numbers so they know where they're going to stand, because flood insurance can kill deals if it's not stated and qualified in the beginning of the transaction. So we try to keep that to the minimum. We want people to close deals. That's important.
Yeah, no, exactly. Because you got to think about it. If it's $2,400 a year, that's an extra $200 a month that the homeowner has to pay. So typically that kind of goes to the value of the property. So then you get a lower offer than not in a flood zone.
Right. And again, it just goes back, let me know the address, or any insurance broker, they can find this information out. Some don't want to, it takes a little bit of time, but I don't mind giving that value. But the AE can be the worst. And then it goes down from there, it depends. I had one that was a 100-year flood zone. So they haven't had a flood there in 100 years. So they had a policy that was $900. So there's a lot of value to finding out exactly where it's at. And it takes a few minutes to research and find out, and knowing the numbers. Having a crystal clear quote is better than just a generic quote. If someone calls me over the weekend, hey, what's this going to cost? I'll give them that $2,300 and $1,100. So you're looking at $3,300 for the year. Oh, but is that crystal clear? No, because I don't have any information. You just call me. So I'll give you a generic quote. But if you want to have, some research done and actually know what you're going to be paying for, I need some time. We're not miracle workers.
Yeah, absolutely. The next thing I want to kind of transition into is you do a lot of social media, and also there's a new site that you've been advertising a lot lately. I'm on the site as well. I'll let you introduce it. And I'm talking about WebTalk, right? Yeah. So tell us a little bit more about that, and also you also do some mentorship as well, right?
Yep.
And as far as social media goes, so tell us a little bit about that as well.
No, WebTalk is an awesome, incredible platform. I'm not sure if Jonathan's on it yet, but
Yeah, I am.
it's awesome. I mean, some people are like, "What is this all about?" It's all in beta right now. It's like a very new. They say it's like Facebook and LinkedIn. If they made a baby, it would be WebTalk. And the power of WebTalk is you actually can make money. And I've made money already. It's not huge money right now, but over time it will be. I mean, I've made probably $84.47, right? You get paid by how many likes, comments, posts, shares, and invites of people coming into the platform. You get paid if you're on, there's a level 1, you get 10%. They have ad revenue share, where if you go to Facebook and do ads, you don't get money back. Zuckerberg doesn't pay you any money. Go to LinkedIn, you spend money on ads, you don't get any money back. But on WebTalk, those that are advertising on there, they give 50% of the money back to the member. So the power is in the numbers. They have 5 million people right now that are on that platform that don't know who I am, don't know who you guys are. But that's where it's another networking tool. So you can actually post. I could do one post right now and goes on WebTalk, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and there's one other one. I'm not sure what the heck it is. It must be in Europe. They must have another platform. I'm not sure. I don't know about, but in one click, I can have this go out to all platforms.
Nice.
And if people click on it and they look at it, they engage, you get points and the points add up. And if you want to upgrade, and this is the benefit, if you upgrade, it's $200 for the year. And it opens up a 5-level, almost, it's like a multi-level marketing where you get paid on each level of whoever's on your team. So the power is now you have players that are involved, that are sharing content, that are educating others. And it's just another resource to network. And you have these things called a spotlight post. So I have my show as well, and I'll have people on. If they're not members yet, I will do a spotlight post so that the whole community sees you. So you get 20 of them every single month. So, and people say, well, $200, why would you just spend $200? It's 83 cents a post that you would have free marketing. It's for marketing. So you have 20 of them. That's huge for a new platform. And this is one huge thing. I don't know if you know this. Well, on Facebook, you go into Facebook jail. If you sit there and go friend request, all of a sudden, boom, you can't do anything because they shut you down. WebTalk doesn't have that yet. So what am I doing? Friend requests, and growing your community there. And you can have more than, I have the 5,000. I'm always purging on Facebook to keep it around the 5,000. On WebTalk, I'm not there yet. I'm at 500-600 right now. But you can have in excess of whatever there and have so much more people that you can have engage your stuff rather than the 5,000 that are just on Facebook. Am I saying get away from Facebook? No, stay on Facebook, stay on Instagram, have a YouTube channel like we all have. These are things, it's just another way to network, to socialize, and you actually get paid on it. So it's like, why not? It's a few bucks here, a few bucks there, and it will exponentially grow. So in the next 6 months, there's going to be a lot more people making more money. But they also have a limit. There's 1 million seats. So that $200 is going to go away if you don't buy a seat soon. I mean, I think they might have a couple 100,000 right now. Will 1 million come? It might. I just got involved early and just growing the team, get people into a Facebook group. And there's a lot of rah-rah, a lot of engagement, a lot of competition, and a lot of growth. That's what I'm all about, is helping others get to a different level, which now pivots into the mentoring. I've done all these videos. And in 2017, I did my first video. And from there, I did over 1,000. And I basically kept a lot of notes and kept it in my black book and created a curriculum that I teach people. I've had right now, I have one mentee right now. I've had up to 11 that I've helped, and they created their own personal brand, which is very important. No matter where you work, if you are self-employed, it's you or who people buy from. So you have to create your own brand, but actually will generate your own free leads if you do it properly. And you have people tagging you on posts consistently. That's the benefit of it long term. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. I teach people what I've done. For example, every morning I do a motivational quote. This is value for those that are watching. These are things that, hey, if you want to join and I can teach you. I have 20 things that are basically habits that I've created that you will know and utilize. And I have a mentoring call every week. And then I have action items that you will complete so that you will grow your personal brand. One thing is having these motivational quotes every single day, waking up, doing a post. In the beginning, just find something, type in motivational quotes, click on images. It'll be a nice color background and throw it up onto Facebook. I always do a little emoji and reflect on that quote in my own words. And then I had a call to action. That's what I did for a couple of years. And now I take what my reflection was from my prior year and make that into the quote that I do today with my picture that has created my personal brand. And I use, what do I use now? I have, it's called Fonto. Here's an app if you need to add words, if you have to add images or logos to pictures. It's Phonto. Is an app that you can just take and upload and create your own custom image. So that's one thing I always do every single day. And people say, why would you do that? Because you're helping others, you're motivating others. It motivates me to get started in my day for some positivity, no matter what is going on in our lives. And hey, I had some crazy things happen in my life. I had my daughter a year ago, had her liver transplant, and I continued on my entourage as far as what I was doing on social media, because it's all important to be authentic, to be real, so people know you're a human being. And then most recently, my parents both had COVID, and my father was basically on his deathbed, and he just got home 2 days ago and is walking, and it's just, I just had a call with him a couple minutes before we got on, and he's doing phenomenal. So I enjoy and I preach hope. No matter what's going on in people's lives, you have to stay and know things are going to work out. If you now start becoming depressed, I know that's mental health is a big thing in the world today, but as long as we stay positive and motivated, things are going to happen. So that's a major thing that kind of gets my day going. And then how I get more of those tags in those posts, every single time somebody recommends me or every single time someone calls me for anything, I do a shout out. And I'll say, thanks so much, Jonathan, for the opportunity to quote a builder's risk for a client of yours. Or, hey, thanks so much, Joey, for the recommendation I was looking for a septic removal guy and you hooked me up. Why do I do that? Because it helps you get more into exposure into my community. It creates interest with those that are watching. It's not me saying, hey, call me for insurance. It's providing value consistently and helping others. And the more people that you help, again, it goes back to now you have an army of people out there that are out there looking for and helping you. So when someone mentions insurance, or someone mentions investing or carpentry or any in real estate, they'll contact you guys, just the way that you build your community. Doing consistent video like you are with your podcast and everything else. I tell people all the time, and this is what I teach, you have to do it. Well, I don't want to do it. I don't like the way I sound. I don't have the great camera I love the microphone Joey's got. It's great. I have a blue Yeti coming. I'm getting rid of these things and using a Yeti microphone in my probably next week I'll have it. Always trying to make yourself better, and innovating is so key, but educating is so important to building your community.
No, for sure. Like you definitely broke down a lot of things. So when you post, like those thank yous to people, it's kind of funny because like certain people, even like myself, it's like, oh, you cared enough to at least post, like I helped you. So it's kind of like a value in the sense to even someone like myself, like, oh, you cared enough that it meant something to you. You know what I mean? So then it's like, okay, I want to refer more business to you because it's kind of like
that acknowledgement.
Yeah, there you go, the acknowledgement.
And other people will see it. And I tell this to investors or agents. Imagine if I get like 5 deals from Joey and Jonathan this week, right? All of a sudden I do all these posts. People are like, damn, I need to work with these guys because you are constantly sending business to Shawn. That something I have to meet you. And after every call, I tell people, listen, if I put somebody on blast, you have to meet, you have to message, you have to get to know that person. Does everybody reach out? No, there's not a lot of action takers in this world. You guys are implementers. You started the podcast, you're still doing it, which is, I applaud you.
Thank you.
But it's something that people don't always take action. And there's so many people look at how many people you've gone on and had your podcast. I've done over 70 something Facebook Lives. And I tell people every single time this year, reach out to these people. They're here to grow business together. But people sit there and, oh, what am I going to say? Hey, I saw you on the show. I want to get to know how I can help you grow. Simple sentence to share with them, because you're not calling them to sell. I just want to find out, how can I help you? That's all I want to find out. But action taking is a whole other thing that people just don't get involved with.
No, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I was on one of your lives earlier this year. Well, actually, probably towards the end of last year.
Yep.
So, yeah.
I mean, it's just a matter of time. I did 54 last year in November. I was up, then they shut it. They couldn't do any more Facebook Lives as far as with a split screen. They got rid of it for a period of time.
Yeah, it was
And
weird.
that's why I got off, and I was using StreamYard. And now I'm up to like 70 something already in June. That's
Wow.
amazing what it's allowed me to do. So it's
For sure.
giving consistent value and education wins every single time. The more things you put, and it's funny, I talk to agents and I'm like, hey, or even investors, how can we talk about some strategies of how you got all these deals happening? Oh no, I don't want to tell people how I did it, because then they're going to take my business. I'm like, no, they're not, because of the action taking, the implementation. I could tell you exactly how to do something. Will people follow it exactly? No.
Like, it's funny. Like, I'll even admit, like, I'm a hypocrite to that too. Like, I know how to do certain things, and I haven't done it to help grow my business, unfortunately. But it's like some people will reach out like, oh, how can you do this? And it's like, well, you go to the tax record first. Oh, where do you go? It's like, go to this website. Like, I could give them the step-by-step how to do it, and they won't do it still.
I mean,
It's absolutely true.
I've had people come on and get involved with my mentoring program. And I'll be like, all right, I need you to do this, this, and this. And so next week I'll have a call. And I'm like, so where are you? Did you get these things done? Oh, you meant I really had to do it? I'm like, what, are we wasting our time here? Like, you're supposed to be growing your brand, and this is how you have to and can do it. And they're like, oh, okay. So it's holding others accountable. The accountability piece is important, I believe, 100%. If you have somebody who's like, hey, what's going on? Are you doing what you're supposed to be doing? You'll get it done. If you don't have it, like, I think you guys work hand in hand really well because you hold each other accountable. That's why you guys are being very successful.
Yeah, absolutely. If I don't do something, or if I'm lagging behind on a project, anything like that, Jonathan will ask me, hey, how's it going on this project? Did we get this kitchen done or something like that? And I'll, if I haven't gotten to it, I'll be like, oh crap, I need to kind of step up and get that done,
Yeah.
And, same thing with, and vice versa. If John, let's say, didn't get some paperwork done, or, made a certain phone call or something like that,
Which actually reminds me, I need to get the paperwork for our East Orange.
There's always stuff to do, if we had a better like to-do list, our list would like go to a mile long.
Yeah, it would continuously grow, and it never ends.
Yeah.
What's the best piece of advice you would give to someone that wants to get started in real estate and whatnot?
Well, the first thing they're going to, in real estate, and I know you can go different angles. Some people can go wholesaling. They can go work with, just do flipping and investing. And then some want to get their real estate license. So figure out what direction you want to really go, and have some mentor, spend a little money, learn what you're going to focus on. Don't just try to wing it. If you wing it, you're going to learn and crash and burn. So you want to learn from those that have done it already and see what they've done and replicate and take action and get yourself out there and read and research and get on podcasts and watch videos to learn as much as possible, because I'm always learning, because I'm always looking to grow. And I'm sure you guys are still the same way as well.
Absolutely.
Yes. And I love talking to others, because you get to know what they're doing and implement and try. And maybe you mess up too, and that's fine. We're okay to mess up, but reflect on it and don't do it again. Don't mess up the same way. So figure out your processes. Also have your to-do list. Make sure you have some kind of system. And one major thing is have a CRM, relationship management system, so that you can follow up. You can, make sure you know where your database is. Individuals, maybe investors you work with, or people that are planning on selling, maybe your resources, your dumpster, your insurance, your hard money lender people, your top 25 professionals you need in your corner. Have this set up so that you have it at your fingertips. or in your phone. Make sure you have some way of getting in contact with them and be consistent on your marketing as much as possible. Don't, even when you're busy, you have to find time to market. Make some phone calls, send out something, flyers, hold open houses if you're in real estate, the retail side. Just do something consistently. Don't sit there and wait for your phone to ring. I have mine on vibrate and I have tons of calls coming in, but you make the phone ring. You don't need to, sit there and hope it rings. That's what I would definitely leave for those that are watching.
That's definitely awesome, Shawn. Thank you so much for, bringing the value today to our audience. This is really cool. We wanted to switch it up a little bit because, we've had numerous fix and flippers, wholesalers, capital raisers and things like that. And so real estate, related services, something we definitely wanted to bring into, so people know who to call when they need insurance, of course, right? And then just in general, there's going to be other services that, we're going to be bringing on in the future as well.
For sure.
No, I appreciate the time, guys. This is awesome. If people want to or in need of any services that I can help with, I have connectionmachine.biz is my website. Check it out. A lot of variety of, if you need a home inspector, an attorney, just an example, you need a roofer, whatever. I have lots of connections that I can help you with. And if you need insurance, you can go directly to the website, click on builder's risk, click on the homeowner policy if it is a primary residence, or if it's a property that you don't need a lot of renovations on it, click on that form. If it's renovations, click on builder's risk. We'll make it happen because it's important to have it right from the get-go, what kind of policy you need. And if you guys need anything, please reach out to me at 201-320-3454, or you can email me at Shawn, SHAWN, Ziem, Z like zebra, IEM like Mary, @gmail.com.
Okay.
That's awesome. Perfect. Guys, also don't forget to like and subscribe to the podcast. So thank you very much, Shawn.
Yes, like, share, subscribe, post anything with the podcast.
Yeah, just comment as well. Definitely we are definitely light on the comment section. And so if you like this type of podcast or the subject we had today, definitely let us know.
All right, perfect. So
awesome, guys. Thank you very much.
Thank you for being on the show, and take care, everyone.
See you later.
Bye-bye.